Hey everyone, and welcome to the next video in February. So this one I got embossing powder happy. So I'm starting with an 8.5 by 11 like A4 kind of size paper, and I've got the green one underneath folded so that I could pick up the embossing powder excess later, and I just ripped another 8.5 by 11 piece so that I could have some straight edges. So I just used my ink pad and I smooshed it on the paper in a line. I don't want the edge of it to be straight, like the end of it on the right hand side, but I do want the top and bottom to be straight as possible. So I'll just show you a few times of how I do it, just so that you can see the technique, and then we shoot through and see the end result. So I just wanted some stripes across the page, and I end up using the blue and the gold just because I figure I've got a black and white photo of my two boys. I thought that might be okay. I don't mind using pink on their layouts, but this one didn't need it. So you can see here, so I'm laying the two pieces of A4 paper with the straight edges, and that way I can, it's like using a mask, like a stencil. So that way I can only have it where I need it to be. Now I don't have one of those any static pillows or anything like that, so I just use my fingers and here a paintbrush, and don't put it where the powder is, but there was something on it so I needed it off, but that's okay. We can't, it actually gives a nice detail later, that little dab in the middle that's missing the powder. And it's just so much easier if you use a piece of paper underneath folded. So you can see there that I just tipped it up so that I could tip the powder back into the bottle. And then of course, because it's like using glitter, you get it everywhere, so you just got to have some wipes on handy just to wipe down your desk every now and then, otherwise it starts to feel a bit gritty and yuck. So just using the heat tool to emboss it, really I guess is the term, to heat it up and then change its color so that it's set. And then I'm just going to go to the next one. So this stripe is a bit bigger. I made them all different widths just for a bit of interest. I didn't want it, if it was going to be, the stripes were going to be the same width all the way down, you'd probably have to measure it to make it look more authentic and more, more accurate, I guess, is going to be the look. I was looking for more of a random look, hence the, the sides on the right not having to be straight and finished on sort of more of a distressed kind of a look. So just going to give it a tidy up, and I think maybe I'll show you one more, maybe. If not, I just flip through. So so I'm just going to show you how it looks with this other blue. So you can see already the pattern of the background is coming together so nicely. Now this could go, you could do this on a 12 by 12, a 6 by 8, any size really. You could do it on Project Life card as well, if you just use little stripes rather than big bold ones like this. So here we are, I've come back, we've done all of it, just got to fold it because it's mixed media, of course it's warped a little, and I get a bit annoyed with it, so I put it under my really useful box while I layer up my photo with some pattern paper, and that way it just flattens it out. It was funny because after you heat set it, you expect it still to be wet because it looks wet. So I actually was waiting for a second on the first time because it has been a while since I've embossed. And then I was like, oh, I wonder how wet it is. And I touched it and I went, oh, it's not even wet at all. The whole point is that's the glossy kind of a look rather than it being actually truly wet. It's just really, like, embossing powder is pretty fascinating, really. Like, when you think about it's a powder and then you heat it up, reacts with, obviously, the ink pad, but it's so funny. Anyway, so I've just used some packaging, and then I've used a Project Life blank card, that one of the printables that we got as a subscriber, and another one is that greeny colour. Then I'm using this one with the arrows, and another one without this one's the green with the pattern. So it's nice to use the Project Life size cards that Steph cuts for us, just because they're smaller, but especially if you've already cut some of them, you don't have to cut into your big 12 by 12s. So I tend to use some of them for Project Life, some for layering, so I sort of just think about not overusing them all so that I'm not leaving nothing for project life. And then obviously then that would be annoying to Steph who cuts them. But I think it's nice to have a nice balance between the two. So, just having a look what else is in my little embellishment stash. I pulled out this ephemera bag that we get in the kits with our exclusive die cuts. So it's just a little paper bag, folded in the middle, and I'm going to attach it. I'm just being a bit cheeky and attaching it with my tiny attacher, which of course you've seen ran out of staples, so I had to put them in. But I just found oh, sorry, I got distracted. I was wondering what was coming down my street. It's like super early in the morning, but a lovely gentleman is carrying some branches down the street, and the leaves are rustling on the ground, so it's actually really nice. Really lovely sound, but it was just different, what I wasn't expecting. Anyway, so I'm going to start putting this page together. I pulled out that lovely little heart, that wood veneer heart with all the little lines in the middle. I thought, oh, that'd be cool, I could back it, and then I went, no, I don't want to back it because I want to see a lot of the background. So I pull in a few more wood veneer and I see that Hello Happiness banner from the die cuts, and I'm going to use that as my title. So you can see there, the photo is only a 3x4 photo, so it fits so nicely on the 8.5x11 layout. And then I decided I needed some of that green because I added green in the photo paper layers, and I thought that cactus goes so perfectly. They're outside. It's a photo of my view when you walk behind, when we walk anywhere. My boys are walking in front, talking to each other, and I thought if I'm not going to use the cactus on something else at the moment, so I better get some on here. And of course that means then I try and put every single cactus and cactus looking thing on there to use them all up at once, and realize I need to just back down and be reasonable with my cactus placing. So add in a little layer of cactus behind that one, add in some fun foam to the Hello Happiness because it's up on the wood veneer on the right hand side. And you can see here I'm trying to add two puffy cacti. And then I found this little free spirit puffy, and I thought that goes perfectly there in that cluster instead. So take that off. So I don't actually add too much to this layout. I like the fact that the background is so bold and striking, and there's just a little bit of added interest around the photo. And that's all it needs. Sometimes you can go wacko with all the embellishments and all the things in the world, but other times it's just nice to pare it back and have a nice simple layout that's sweet and fun. So I found this little tag, and I thought that would do a good layering piece to add in a bit more of the blue. And I'm just still apparently fiddling with cactus because why not? But I'm just going to pull in some more hearts because it's nice to have a bit of different texture in what the hearts are. So there's a heart sticker there I put down up the top. I layered a blue die cut heart and another sticker here. So it's very very simple, very easy to make. So the hardest part was actually doing the embossing. And really, if you just be methodic about it and use the paper as the edges and whatnot, then you can go to town with it. Actually, I think my ink pad is a bit drier than it probably should be, although you can't tell, like it looks so covered with the embossing powder, so covered in those strips. But I don't know, it's been a while. Maybe I'm just overthinking it and that it's actually fine. Oh my gosh, I've knocked over my glue and it's dripping onto my scissors. I can see that now in the footage. That is so ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to add some journaling. I just use my Sharpie and write straight on the paper and the embossing. And this is the end result. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you feel inspired to get quite crazy with your embossing powder on your background. Let us know what you think down below, and join us in the Facebook subby group and community group, and join us for many conversations and shares of layouts and ideas. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye.